Campaigners will hand an open letter to Number 10 today, calling on the Prime Minister to end the use of physical punishment against children in England. This comes as new data reveals that in the last 6 months, the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children helpline, the nspcc of course, saw a 40% increase in contacts from adults who are worried about the physical punishment of kids. That's compared to the same period last year. Joining me now to chat about this is Associate Head of Policy at the nspcc, Joanna Barrett. Joanna, it's good to see you. We should just remind people, we're not talking about the whole of the UK here, are we? Because smacking is banned in Wales, it is banned in Scotland, not in Northern Ireland and not in England. Yeah,
exactly. So Scotland changed the law in 2020, Wales in 2022, but England and Northern Ireland remain places where the physical punishment of children is lawful. And at nspcc, we want to change that.
Really interesting. It's adults getting in touch with concerns about this, many more than last year. What are they saying?
We're hearing a range of things. It's maybe adults who have seen something out in public that they're concerned about, other family members who are asking if something they've witnessed, is that punishment, is it abuse? And that's really concerning to us, because that's the crux of why we want to change the law, is that there's no real clarity about where the line is between what's OK and not OK, and that exposes children to harm.
Yeah, so in Wales and Scotland, it's clear any sort of physical violence, a smack on the bum, for example, is considered wrong, whereas the law in England specifically, it's still a grey area. It's open to interpretation every time.
Yeah, so the reason that it's lawful is that there's this defence of reasonable punishment. So something that may otherwise constitute assault is OK because it was done by a parent to a child on the grounds of punishment. But there's no clarity about what does reasonable mean. And my definition of what is reasonable might be different to yours. So there's a lack of clarity, and we did some polling with safeguarding professionals. And social workers we spoke to said that the law as it stands makes their job about assessing risk to children more difficult. Surely we shouldn't have anything on the statute books that makes safeguarding children more difficult.
Sure, and you know, the government's about to unveil its strategy for looking after kids in all sorts of ways and protecting them. Is this going to be a part of that, do you think? Are you lobbying for them to do something around this in that?
There's a bill before Parliament, the Children's Wellbeing in Schools Bill, which we think is the perfect legislative vehicle for change. So far, the government has said it's listening, but it's not going to act at this point. So we've got a lot of activity planned today to tell the government, actually, the evidence is clear. Physical punishment is potentially harmful to children. You have a unique opportunity right now to change the law in England, to give children in England the same protection that children in Scotland and Wales have.
Do you notice there are sort of generational differences of opinion on this? And I think it's important to say, right, whatever the law is in England, a lot of parents do not smack. They don't want to smack. But do you notice that perhaps older generations who grew up with it, and you know, it was around when I was a kid, I was born in the 70s. Do you, by the way, no one ever hit me, but I just made that clear. But do you find that older generations say to you, like, well, it was fine for me, I grew up fine, a bit of a tap on the legs or a smack on the bottom stopped me getting into harm's way?
It's definitely an emotive subject because it speaks to people's own experiences of being parented but also parenting. And we do hear that it never did me any harm. But I think that there have been generational changes. It's used less than it was, but it is still part of childhood for some children. And I think the thing that's changed along with attitudes is evidence. And over decades, we know far more about the impact of physical punishment. It doesn't work as a discipline tool. It affects children's mental health. It's linked with an escalation to physical abuse. So I think we should act on that evidence rather than any emotion. Let's just say that actually there's potential for harm here. We need to do something about it.
I guess the concern from the other point of view, just to finish off, Joanna, is sometimes you'll see something happen, you won't realise the whole context. If someone's grabbing a toddler who's about to run into the road, for example, and yanking them back, if you just see that, it might look like they're being caused harm when actually they're being rightfully protected. It's a tricky thing.
The law is very clear that it's about punishment. So if you're restraining a child from immediate danger, you're not doing that on the grounds of punishment. So changing the law wouldn't affect that. And I don't think there's any evidence that children in Wales and Scotland are running into roads more or touching electricity sockets. This is about punishment. It doesn't work. It's potentially harmful and it needs to go.
Joanna Barrett from the nspcc, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.